So it's a Trumpian style pledge here, and there are already laws in place, but is this a serious pitch, Jonathan?
Well, I think we have to have all options on the table to be able to consider how best to protect our community and make sure that women, children, all members of our community are safe. I think having the interests of those people out there who have suffered at the hands of those who don't share our loyalty to our country and wanting to protect what's important about it is, I think, very much what any government should be considering. Having all options on the table to deal with this, because we know we've had issues with this in the past, and yes, judges can, of course, rule that someone should be deported, but to have the capacity for ministers to make decisions of this nature, I think, is absolutely worthy of consideration. As I say, at a time when we're seeing antisemitic and other sorts of hate crimes and terror-related crimes occur in this country, I think it is right for us to have this debate, and I'll be interested to see whether the government want to have this debate or just rule it out today.
OK, but just to clarify, you support a referendum on this?
Well, as I say, I think we should have all options available to us. Obviously, legislative reform would be the simplest way to do it, but if, of course, altering our constitution is something that needs to happen to give effect to ensure that we can protect our community, then that is something we should consider. It's an option, it's one to consider, and let's see what happens between now and election day.
All right, Daniel, what's your response to this? Would you support it?
Well, look, this does seem like a Trumpian-style one-day headline grabber to me. Look, what we experienced as a government during this last term was that the High Court handed down an unexpected decision that we had to deal with, and we passed a whole range of legislative and other measures, administrative measures, that did focus on community protection. And that really is where we should be focusing. We should be focusing on strengthening community protection through measures that have immediate effect. The concern I have is that if we throw the idea of a referendum out there, completely ill-defined, it's not clear what it's supposed to achieve, wouldn't have any effect for years under any kind of realistic timeline. It just seems to me like it's a distraction on a topic that has all sorts of current legislative means available for solutions. OK,
a chortle there from you, Jonathan. Your response?
Yeah. Look, honestly, to suggest that this is a one-day headline grabber, national security, having a government have all the powers at its disposal to protect the people that live here from things that are a scourge right now, that's not a distraction. That is an important issue. To hear Labor rule it out, as they just have done, that this is not an issue that needs dealing with, given the terrible track record on what happened after that High Court ruling, where they were dragged kicking and screaming to find a solution, I think just proves the point. They haven't learnt their lesson and they don't have a plan.
Are you in the danger of getting wedged on this, Daniel, given issues in the past when it comes to national security in the Labor Party? Do you feel like you're getting wedged on this to support it?
Well, so my concern with what we've heard to date is that there's really too little clarity around what it is that is being sought to achieve. Mr Dutton has come out and said he might explore a referendum, no detail. It's reflective of a number of the policies that are being put forward by the opposition. Nuclear is another one, where it's not clear at all what would be achieved in the near term. There are thought bubbles put out there, and then the government's asked to rule in or out things that are very unclearly defined. So that's really my concern with what little I've heard this morning. I've really heard very little detail, I must say, other than the fact that a referendum should be on the table.
Sure, and OK, well, I'll go back to you, Jonathan. Do you think after the last referendum, do you think there's an appetite for another referendum so soon after the last one?
Well, I think that it would be wise to explore every other avenue first. I mean, a referendum is a tool at a government's disposal, but we should explore all the legislative pathways, regulatory pathways and whatever else can be done to protect our country and its people. But I don't think we should be ruling it out. If the Constitution prevents us from doing something to protect Australians, then it needs to change.
So at the very least, Daniel, it's steered the conversation to national security, which is red meat for the coalition. The former Prime Minister, Tony Abbott, he wants a stricter citizenship test. Do you think that's needed?
Oh, well, look, I mean, again, I haven't heard the details of what he's proposing there. I think the thing is...
Well, basically saying it's
if you
not
just
strong
throw
enough and people are just, just sort of coming in ad hoc and willy-nilly, which is placing our national security at risk. So he believes that needs to be toughened. Do you believe that the citizenship test for our country should be toughened from where it is right now?
Well, look, the current citizenship arrangements are based upon advice from our national security agencies and experts. I haven't seen the case for changing that. I haven't heard the case that there are any systemic issues. But again, if Tony Abbott or members of the opposition want to make a very specific policy proposal and want to make a policy case for changes, let's hear it. Too much in this space and too much of what I've seen this morning from the opposition is very vague and does seem to be an attempt to just get things on the agenda without anything specific that would actually benefit people or the nation.